YouTube for a total of, I joined in 2014 with my first channel. It's 2022, 8 years, I guess. I have never had to make any sort of video like this, so this is really like not something I ever expected to happen in my, you know, YouTube career, but here it is, you know. So over the past 5 months, you know, maybe 6 months, I don't even know. I can't even remember. You know, I've had a lot of issues kind of like keeping up with stuff, and, you know, obviously the horoscopes haven't gotten done, you know, stuff like that. I've been saying like, oh, you know, I don't have time, but you know, everybody knows you make time when you want to do something. And I did want to do them, of course. I did do them several times, but I couldn't post them. And I'm gonna tell you why. So I had a stalker. Now before we get into this, and I'm sorry guys, I don't normally film face forward. I need to learn how to do this because I'm gonna be doing this a lot in a couple months. I'll tell you all about it just at the end. But when you see me looking different angles, it's because I'm just not used to filming with my face. I'm used to filming, you know, with my hands only, what I do, my work. So before I get started, I have to put a massive trigger warning on this video. There is not gonna be anything in this video that is not a trigger. If you have any sort of triggers, I would please stop watching now, okay? And I mean that. All right. So yeah, like I was saying, you guys noticed, you know, I hadn't been around. I got so many, you know, messages and emails and calls, but at the time I couldn't respond to a lot of that stuff. My assistant has had to take over all of the messages and stuff, my emails. You'll see why in a second. So in October of 2020, I got an email from someone who I assumed to be a subscriber. Now, I started the YouTube channel before I started the Etsy channel. The YouTube channel is what kicked off the Etsy, not channel, but shop, right? All my people came over, showed me so much love, you know, gave me a great reputation on Etsy, and the thing just skyrocketed. I mean, it went from 0 to crazy in a matter of months, you know? So anyway, I don't even know why I said that part, but okay, the YouTube channel. So you guys know I used to be called Trust in Truth Tarot. That was my first channel name, right? And then another person came along and made a channel called Trusting Truth Tarot. So I just decided to take the high road. I didn't say anything to her. I didn't really like the channel name that I had made anyway. That channel I made on this channel, I made on a complete whim. I'd just gotten divorced. My daughter was at her dad's for the night, and I was bored, you know, and I love tarot cards. I've been reading them since I was 13. I watched the watched the tarot community, but because I was a professional, and I mean, I was, you know, I was a professional, like I didn't want to like go on, you know, YouTube showing my face with tarot cards just in case, because of my job, all of that, you know, just in case that was a problem with anybody. You know, you never know. Tarot's not everybody's cup of tea, right? Anyway, I'm going to try not to get side-railed here. So she emailed me at trustintruthtarot@gmail.com, which is an email address that I still have. And most clients don't, I mean, some clients, my older clients do contact me there, yes. But new people don't, because I had taken that email address off of my videos years ago, you know? When did we turn it into Twinkle Star Tarot? I think it was like, was it 2019, like when I retired from corporate America? I think that's when it was. And yes, I changed it to the Lovers Conjure because we just need to do that. The entity, my company is still Twinkle Star Tarot Inc., but the Lovers Conjure just makes more sense with us going, you know, brick and mortar and expanding the way that we are. It's not going to change though. Just, well, it will, but in a lot of really good ways. Anyway. back to where we were. Okay, my daughter's here, so there's gonna be jump cuts in this, and I'm gonna have to, you know, pick it back up. I'll be back in just a second. Absolutely. Okay, guys, I'm back. So anyway, I got this email from this person, and she said, you know, hello. She's very professional. You know, she'd said that, okay, so here's the thing. I'm gonna have to tell you some stuff that she told me, and it is what I would consider confidential client information. Now, again, because of my background, my legal background, my government background, I keep client confidential shit confidential. Like I would never say a word. I would never reveal anybody's identity. You know what I mean? We keep that on lock, and my employees that I have are trustworthy. You get what I'm saying? Like I don't play with that, all right? That's my whole livelihood. That's my clients. You guys are like and that's the thing. It's like so many of you guys are like, you know what I mean? Like, all right. So she tells me about her situation, right? And this is what she says. Well, I'm in love with a woman who is married to a man, and she wants to leave her husband, but she can't because she's an immigrant, and her husband, you know, holds a federal job. Okay. And so, you know, we had a affair. Like, she didn't say those words. I'm paraphrasing, guys, but she the way that she made me feel, what she made me think is that, you know, that they had a relationship and they were very happy, but because of the husband, she'd had to cut her off. And so, you know, she initially asked me if I would do a breakup spell, because she's like, oh, the husband's abusive, like all this stuff, you know? And I don't do breakup spells. Everybody knows I'm not doing any sort of darker work, right? We call it dark work because it's not double work. I'm asking my spirit guides to help me with something that's not, you know what I mean? It's a different type of work, okay? And I do call on various entities for different things, yes, but I don't do any of it for any client that I don't know until you do a consultation. Why? Because then I get to see your whole story. I get to read the cards. I get to talk to my guides and see what's the deal, right? Because a lot of people would like, you know, they come to, I get requests for breakup spells all the time, every day, multiple times a day, you know, but it's because they want somebody else's partner, and I'm not doing that. You know, I'm not doing that. So, you know, I'm sure people have probably lied to me before and gotten me to do it, you know what I mean? But my intention there with a breakup spell always is only in situations, and there are situations that abuse, things like that, where a breakup spell is appropriate, right? So if, you know what I mean? If you're coming from a good place, we're good. But if I can see, you know what I mean? If I get a little spidey sense tingling about you, we need to get to know each other, you know? And this is the other thing. My intuition was like, and I haven't been able to go back and watch like the consultation reading, but I know for sure that I told her, no, I'm not gonna do this breakup spell. Here's what I'd suggest. Why don't you do like a call me spell? Something to get her to reach out to you maybe, you know? Because the client didn't want to reach out to her because, you know, the husband and everything. And all this said, well, maybe she can just, you know, find a way, send a beacon of light, right? That's what soulmates do. It's what twins do. The spiritual community knows this. You know, you can manifest it. So that's what we did. And we did a lot more work, right? But all of the work that we did for her was good stuff, right? It was healing stuff for her. It was like success stuff for her. We did a lot of stuff, a lot. She did about two spells a month from then on out, roughly. All right. So things are going well. We actually like her as a client. I mean, it ends up, I thought, and this is the thing, I was like, man, I was wrong. Like, she's actually pretty cool. And the reason that happened is because like she kept coming back, but like then she was like, hey, can I book a phone reading? And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. I do phone readings. Yeah, that's great. You know, let's book a phone reading. And I got to talk to her, and, you know, I really liked her. And the reason I liked her, I think now I look back, is that she was mirroring me. She's got a very thick Southern accent, and mine is not as pronounced as hers, but that to me, you know what I mean? I was raised in Hepzibah, Georgia, y'all. Like that sounds like home to me. You know what I mean? So it was like, you know, I just, something was like, you know, it felt safe. And she was there. She had shown no real red flags, you know, up until that point, so that I thought. Now, mind you, you know, she's messaging on the messages once a day, because that's what I told my assistant, who was here at the time. It was a different assistant, but she was allowed to do, because this demon, you know, would message multiple times a day, all day long. You know what I mean? And when I first started the shop, I was able to have those types of conversations with people and stuff, you know, like a text. But honey, we're at 50,000 sales in the last 2 years. Like, do you know, and guess how many of those are appointments, like spells and readings? A lot more than you know. So, you know, I wasn't like involved in anything. And again, this has no bearing on anything. This doesn't cause anything. My assistant was very kind to her. She was just, they were bantering back and forth, just joking about stupid things, talking about life and the way things are going and favorite foods and just dumb stuff, you know? So, anyway, that assistant left in the summer, and it was like July, actually. It's all happened in July. And then, so I had to start talking, you know, to Randy on the messages, because I was down an assistant at that point. You know, I had to jump in until I can get somebody trained and hired and stuff like that. It takes a while. So I'm back on messages. Fine, no problem, you know. And I'm talking to Randy, and she's like, hey, I'm going to be in your area for work. I would love to meet you in person. You know, if you would, you know, want to have dinner or drinks or something like that. And I was like, yeah, actually, that sounds fine. I mean, you know, I had, for the last 2 years, the entire pandemic and before that, you know, I have just worked and taken care of my daughter. That's all I've done. You know what I mean? Like, I kind of gave up my whole social life. And not that I really wanted to go out though, because I didn't want to catch, you know, anything. So, but it was just, you know, I used the opportunity, instead of being like, instead of letting the isolation, you know, get to me. Because I have my daughter here, but we share 50-50, me and my husband. So when she's not here, you know, the employees were here all day long too. I've had employees in my house for 2 years, 2.5. Anyway, we just moved out this week, so, to the store. But anyways, I'm like, yeah, that's fine. So she comes down, and I meet her at like a place on the beach, you know, and we had drinks and just talked and caught up, and everything was fine. It was, you know, it was fine. Like, she had paid for the valet before I got there. I was like, you didn't have to do that. Thank you so much. And she's like, no, it's my pleasure. You know, she bought the drinks, and I'm like, stop. I'm like, this is a business dinner. Like, this is a write-off. Like, please, you know, I don't take clients to dinner very often. This is fine. It was just drinks, you know, but she was generous, you know, she was accommodating. She got me to let my guard down. So that night, it was actually a Thursday, and, excuse me, I have to grab my water. I'm sorry, guys. I told you I'm not good at the filming stuff. I've got to figure it out. I will. So that night was fine. It was a Thursday, and I had just come from a whole day with my broker, my real estate broker, commercial, finding a store. You know, I had been looking for so long, and finally, like that day, I found the space. I mean, there were 2 really good contenders, but the one that I have is the one that I was like it was the one, right? So I found that day, and I was rushing back, and I didn't have a chance to do the prosperity service because I had to meet her. So I was like, it's fine. I'll just meet her 2 hours, and then I got to just go home and do the service when I get home. It would be like 9:30, 10, no big deal, right? I've done it before. It happens. So we went out to the drinks, and then, you know, she wanted to go out more, and I was like, I'm sorry. I'm like, I have to do this prosperity service. But again, because, you know, she was a female, she was non-threatening, I felt that I had like a rapport with her, you know? And here's the real kicker. I actually did a little low-end background check on her, just to make sure. And nothing came up, you know? Nothing came up. So, I mean, she had some Parkinson's, traffic stuff and stuff, but nothing to be worried about, right? So I'm like, hey, no problem. I'm like, why don't you come back to my place, follow me back home? And then I don't drink and drive. So I was like, we'll take an Uber after I do the prosperity service. We'll take an Uber out to, you know, the bar that's open late or whatever and just hang out. And then I'll just take an Uber home. And she was at like a place, you know, in a beach about 10 miles away. And that was gonna be that. So we ended up staying here because we were just talking. We grabbed a beer while we were here and, you know, we were just catching up again. And then it was just late. It was probably like 12, 1. And she was just sitting on my couch, you know, just all like kicked back, comfortable. And I'm like, are you okay to drive? You know, I'm like, do you want me to get you an Uber? I said, or do you want to just crash on the couch? You can crash on the couch. That's fine. You know? And she was like, yeah, that'd be great. So I'm like, yeah, no problem, girl. You know? And honey, like I said, I'm from Hephzibah, Georgia. We are hospitable people. Went upstairs, got her some clothes, you know, she changed, she went to bed. When I woke up in the morning, she was gone. And she had said that, she's like, I'm gonna leave early, blah, 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 to get back to her place. And that was that, you know, that was it. She had left a note like, hey girl, thank you. You know, it was so nice to meet you. I'm really happy to have a friend like you because, you know, I had told her like, you know, she's not, I don't know that she's that familiar with like everything that we're familiar with. And I mean, like the group of us that have been going through this crazy crap for 10 years, you know what I mean? So we were like swapping stories about crazy exes and just, you know, all this stuff, you know? And so, you know, we had talked about that. And then, you know, she had talked about places she'd wanted to go and stuff. And I'm like, oh yeah, girl, I travel. I said, once we can travel again, you know, let me know if you need somebody to travel with. You know, I'm looking at her like a girlfriend, you know? Like, hey girl, let's go have a girls' weekend, right? So as soon as she leaves, she's like, hey, I want to come back down and visit so we can hang out again. And I'm like, yeah, like in a couple months, let me know. You know, I said, I just got this store. I gotta, you know, I gotta start hitting the pavement, girl. I got lots of stuff to do. The store is like, and remember, I do all of this by myself. I have employees that I could not do it without. But when I say this, I mean, I run my house, I take care of my kid, all of it. And I had no family support. I have nothing. And it's because I don't really have any family left. Most of them are on the other side. And the ones that aren't are living, you know, they don't live so far. It's a few hours, you know, either way, but Georgia or down in South Florida. But, you know, it's like, I don't have anybody here on the daily. I gotta, you know, I gotta handle my, you know, and I do. So anyway, I was like, yeah, girl, a couple months. I was like, yeah, let me know. Let me get this store, you know, open. And then once it's running, you know, I can, and it was supposed to be open on Halloween, by the way. I signed the lease October 1st. It's February. Hi, baby. And like I said, I know everything happens for a reason. Trust me, I'm the biggest believer in all of that. But that's hard, you know, it's a hard hit. It is, it's a small business, you know what I mean? I paid cash for almost everything, and I did an extensive build out. I'm talking, you know, building up inventory. When you have a store, you have to buy everything. And I'm not just opening like a store, girl. It's a store, you know what I mean? Like it's a thing, it's something to come to when you come here to Florida. And hopefully more places soon. We'll see. We'll see what the universe has in store. But anyway, so the next thing I know, she acts like I never said that. She's like, okay, I'll be back down on Friday, And I'm like, you know, like I said, y'all, I'm busy. Like I work all day and I've got my kid and, you know, my cats and I'm busy. So like, I didn't see it. And I'm like, no, I can't. I'm sorry. I was like, I have my daughter this weekend. I can't, I don't have, you know what I mean? Like I can't go out or anything like that with her, you know? So like, no, I'm not available. And she was like, okay, well, I'm going to be down there for work anyway. So, you know, maybe if you and Emmy have time, you can just meet me out for dinner. And again, in this, you know, she just left, everything was fine. You know, she's weird, but she's not, at the time, like I said, she was mirroring me. So, I mean, I'm weird, but like, not like that. You get what I'm saying? So, oh my gosh, guys. Sorry, I am vaping a nicotine vape. I need to right now. It is what it is, you know? I'll put a no kids thing on this video. All right, so she gets back down and, or she's coming back down, right? And I'm like, you know, I'm not gonna bring my kid. I just, you know, I was like, listen, I asked my ex-husband, hey, can we just switch a night? We're friends, you know, like we get along great. We have a great co-parenting relationship. We have no problems with that. We help each other out all the time. You know, if they need anything, if I need anything, whatever, you know, with Emmy. So he's like, yeah, no problem. So she comes down, and she was supposed to be here early in the morning, like 10, right? And I'm working, girl. It's Friday. I got stuff to do. You know, Fridays are our day to like catch up on everything. It's our administrative day. It's a very big day for us because, you know, we do planning for the week and month ahead. Like, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on. So I was like, all right, you know, whatever. I didn't pay attention. I was just like, whatever. And then I texted her like 2 hours after she's supposed to be here. I'm like, are you okay? And she texts me back. She's like, yeah, I fell asleep at a Wawa. I'm like, huh? You know, she's like, nothing. I'll tell you when I get there. And she made it like a joke with like, you know, it was like a humorous connotation to it, right? So she gets here and she just walks in the front door. And me and my employees are sitting at the table, which is close to the front door. And they're like, and she had asked me, because this had not, you know, she had asked me if she could please use, when she was going to be here at 10 a.m., she'd said she had to work like the whole night before or whatever, you know, and she's allegedly got a professional job. She does actually, because I've spoken to her employer. So yeah, no, she was, you know, she's a job that wouldn't make you think that she could do something like this. So she gets here, she's like, can I go crash in Emmy's room? And I'm like, yeah. Because she was going to crash on the couch when she got here just to have a nap before we would go out to dinner or whatever. So I was like, yeah, that's fine. She just went upstairs in my daughter's room, fell asleep in the bed. She kept sleeping. I kept working, girl. It was like 7 o'clock. I'm like, you know, so I went up there. I'm like, did you still want to go out to dinner? If not, that's totally fine. I said, I'm just working. I just didn't want you to think that you were interrupting me or anything. I'm waiting for you, you know, to tell me what you want to do. So, my baby Simon, oh my God, these cats have been amazing. Anyway, so we go out to dinner. We walked down to a place. I live in a walkable area. We walked down to a restaurant and, we had dinner and when we walked in, you know, it was packed, you know, there was only one seat open and it was the table right in front of the guy singing, you know, so it was really loud over there or whatever, but she wanted to sit inside. So we did. And, you know, we had dinner or whatever. Nothing unusual happened. Now, this is important. I know exactly what I had for dinner. And I know exactly what she had for dinner. So when we first got there, she was like, what are you drinking? I was like, oh, I'm just going to have water. And I actually ordered a Coke because I was like, you know what? It's Friday. I'll have a Coke. You know, I didn't want to drink alcohol around her. I don't know why. I just had a feeling. And then I went to the bathroom and I came back and she'd ordered me a margarita. And my dumbass drank it. And guess what? I got drugged. So I drank the margarita. She's wanting to get out of there. So the plan was to take an Uber to that bar that we didn't go to the last time because we were sitting here in the living room talking. Okay. So we took the Uber. It was my Uber. I called it. We took the Uber to the bar. On the way there, all of a sudden I was like, oh my God. Like, I was like, what the fuck was that tequila? Like, and this is the thing, I can hold my liquor, girl. Again, absolute majority, right? Like I grew up with the military. Like you know, I don't drink that often anymore because I have a lot of obligations in life that, you know what I mean? I just don't have a lot of time to drink, but I have no issues, you know what I mean? I have no issues with alcohol, nor do I have any issues, you know, having a couple of drinks, you know what I mean? So we get out of the Uber and start walking into the bar and I see this big security guard. To me, he looks like he's like 10 feet tall, you know, he's a big guy, you know, and this is like a hole in the wall dive bar. It's our joke bar to take tourists to. It has a sign out front that says like worst beer on the beach and stuff. It's just funny. It says hot beer here or something. It's a joke, you know, it's funny. It's supposed to be cute and quirky and it is. It's adorable. It's just an old little beach place, right? So I remember looking at her and I was like, I gotta sit down, girl. I gotta sit down. I was like, I don't even know if I'm okay. And I don't think I said that, but I was thinking that. I was like, do I need to go to the hospital? Like, but that's it. That was it. Black. So I have like 3 glimpses of a memory. The first one was the bartender, because I think the bartender thought I was drunk and was like, they served me, but he was like watching me. He was looking at me. And I don't know if maybe he thought I was drugged or just that I was intoxicated and didn't need to drink anymore, right? I have that in my head though. And then there was a lady with like flowers, and she had these beautiful, gorgeous arrangements with like orchids and just, you know, everything you can imagine. They were big and beautiful. And in my state of mind, I was like, oh, flowers, you know, I'm like, I want flowers. Like I bought like $80 worth of flowers from this woman, which is fine. I'm glad to support a small business, you know, she's working hard, she's selling her flowers. That's perfect. But you know, $80. It was a lot of flowers. So the next thing I know, that's all I know, right? We're in a car, an Uber, I guess, maybe. I don't know. Actually, I think it was an Uber. Couldn't tell you. So we're in a car, and I see a glimpse of my bridge to my house. You know what I mean? We're on the road coming back to my house, and I'm like, great, that's perfect. That's what I need. You know, my brain's like, okay, that gave me like a sense of like, and the drugs make you kind of like, I guess not euphoric. It's hard to explain because I only have those like glimpses, but I didn't feel endangered. You know what I mean? I just thought I was embarrassed. I thought, oh my God, I had a bad reaction to alcohol or something happened, and I was so embarrassed. You know what I mean? This is a client. I take that seriously, right? Yeah, I mean, she had been a little bit of a friend. I had met her, you know, once before, but still, even if it was a friend, you don't want to bring a friend down here and end up like hammered, you know, as soon as you get out. Like, that's not fun. I mean, when you're 20 it is, but 21, but you get what I mean. So, we get home, and I remember running to the kitchen counter. I have a big island. This is what I work at, but it was on that side by the front door. And I put the flowers on the counter, and I just looked at her and said, I'm going to bed. I have to go to bed. And I remember holding on to the banister of my stairs. Like, I was fighting it. Like, girl, it was like, move your foot. In my head, I was like, move your foot. Like, I don't know how to explain it. And I got up there to the bathroom, and believe it or not, I was able to actually put on my pajamas, which was not like a huge feat, but in that state, it was. It was like, I was like pulling off my clothes, like one at a time, like barely in and out. I was sitting on the bathroom floor. Somehow I got them on. And then the only thing I know is that I planted face first into my bed sideways. Like, I walked in, you know, my door's here, my bed is next to it. So I like, bloop, you know, across that way. And that's the way I woke up. So I'm up every day. 7 a.m. is my max, right? Usually I'm up a little earlier than that, and I can, like, you know, doze back off for a few minutes or whatever, but I get up early. I worked my whole life, you know what I mean, for jobs. I was, like I said, government, you don't be late for shit. You show up, you know? I mean, not to say that I was never late. I was, but that was for different reasons. But you get what I'm saying? With a kid, that's a different thing. But nevertheless, not like that, you know what I mean? So I go to, like, lift my head up and, like, try to find my phone, you know? And how, I don't know how it got there, but it was there. It was next to the bed, or next to me on the bed. And I, like, grabbed it, and I could barely move. Like, I could barely lift my head. I was like, and I saw the time, and it was like 8 something, right? And there was a text on my phone, and I'm not gonna say what it said for obvious reasons, but I was like, I'm so sorry guys, that was my cat. I was like, I don't remember sending that text. Like, huh? And it wasn't bad or anything, But it was just like, it was my first moment of like, and again, I'm thinking it's my fault. I'm thinking like, I must have had a bad reaction to alcohol. I can't hold my liquor. I don't drink that much anymore. You know, something like that. No. So, you know, I put my head back down and I wake back up and it's 11. And I was supposed to get my daughter like now, you know what I mean? And again, my ex-husband's very understanding. We're cool with each other, you know, it's fine. But again, show up. So it's my kid, you know, that my kid, that you can do anything to me, her, right. Nothing happened with her. Okay, thank God. But just the fact that I let this demon into my house, not realizing that they were a demon, you know? So anyway, at this point, I still don't know what happened and I have to get my kid. So I'm getting up, I'm getting ready, I'm okay. You know, I'm good to drive. Had some coffee, I'm good. Go get my daughter, come back and tell her, not my daughter, the demon, that I don't feel well. And that we'll be in my room watching movies and I've got the door closed and locked. Like, I didn't tell her I had the door closed and locked, but I was like, yeah, we're gonna go. I said I need to spend time with her and I don't feel well, so we're just gonna be watching movies today, thanks. And she's like, oh yeah, no problem, no problem. Oh yeah, I got some stuff to do anyway. I'm like, why are you still, you know what I mean? In my head, I'm like, why are you still here? Like, go away. Like, it started to get like, I didn't even invite her. But she knew that I was like gracious and hospitable. So she figured it out. She was like, she's too nice to tell me to leave because I'm a client, you know? So I ignored her. I heard her go in and out a couple times. She had a rental car. I was just like, whatever. And then I asked her, oh, I'm sorry. She was supposed to fly out that day. She was supposed to fly out. She had sent me a flight itinerary. The flight left on Saturday. So I was like, oh, good. And I had told her before all this happened that I was going to take my daughter to Busch Gardens this weekend, which is why I couldn't have her down. I already had plans to go to Busch Gardens with my daughter, which I did, you know? So anyway, I'm like, where's your flight? What happened? She goes, oh yeah, it got canceled. I have to fly out tomorrow. I was like, what time? You know? Just out of curiosity. And I don't even remember what she said, but it was becoming pretty apparent something was up. So I kept my daughter and I locked in my room the whole night, the whole day. Wake up the next morning and said, hey, I'm taking my daughter to Busch Gardens. Have a good day. Have a good flight. And she's like, oh no, I moved my flight to tomorrow so I can go with y'all. I was so aggravated. You have no idea. And let me tell you, when I came downstairs on Saturday, I missed a big part of this. She said she was gonna go to Home Depot and pick something up for me. So she went to Home Depot or Lowe's or wherever it was. This girl comes back with a new set of locks for my front door, a bunch of cleaning products, including bleach and a scrub brush, and a Google Home device, which she installed on my master bedroom television when I wasn't looking. So, Busch Gardens. She's trying to drive. I'm like, I have a kid. Do you know what that means? Like, she needs a car seat. And I didn't do it in that much of an aggression, but again, I'm telling you guys what was like here. And she was like, no, I'll drive. I want you guys to drive. Come on, try out the rental. It'll be fun. I'm like, no. I would not allow her to drive my child around. No, you know? And again, I'm still not putting two and two together. With the locks, she was trying to say, because I had an abusive ex-boyfriend that I hadn't spoken to in months, she was like, oh, you know, you're not safe. You know, we've got to change these locks for you, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I'm good, girl. Like, you don't know nothing about my locks. Like, you don't know about my locks. You know what I mean? And I'm not telling people, what the fuck? Sorry. Anyway. So again, she's like, she's coming across like, oh, I'm trying to help you. Oh, let me help you clean, you know? And I'm like, Randy, the bottom of my townhouse is the Lover's Conjure. It is the store. You know what I mean? Like it's, yeah, we've got herbs and stuff. We have a whole workshop, you know, it's, you know, it's chaotic because we have so much stuff because we're so busy. You know what I mean? We're growing like crazy, you know? So that's why it looked like that. It wasn't dirty. My house is not dirty at all, at all. Actually, I had people to come clean it, you know, because I have employees in here, you know, all day. So I mean, and you know, it's like, I was like, nope, I'm good. And I wouldn't let her change the locks. She was like, why? She was so mad. She was like getting assertive about it. She's like, no, Tina, you don't know what's best for you. She's like, you don't know what I've seen. I've seen stuff like this, da, 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 da. And I'm like, I cannot change these locks until I ask my landlord. And that's a lie, but she doesn't know any better, right? So anyway, Busch Gardens. So we're driving, right? And again, we had shared stories about our past. I had told her about an abusive relationship that I had been in, one in which I nearly died. She puts her hand on my leg and looks at me and says, I have something to tell you. I'm like, what? She says, your ex-boyfriend is a pedophile. He changed his name when he was in prison. And that's why you didn't find out when you ran a background check on him. I'm like, because again, coming around my kid, background check. And definitely now. So I looked at her and I said, what state? Because I know where he's from. She couldn't tell me. I said, what county, what judge, when, what was his name before? And how do you actually know this, you know? So she says, oh, I work for a private investigator. I want to say his name so bad because she kept saying it over and over again. It'll come out in the wash. It's going to be public anyway, so whatever. Oh, I work for a private investigator and he was able to pull this information up. I said, okay, great. I need to talk to that private investigator immediately. Immediately. Because if that is the case, you know, I never left my daughter alone with him. I dated him for 5 months. We broke up for a year and then I dated him for 3 more months. That was it. My kid was never alone with him, but he was around. He was over for dinner. He was around, for sure around. Okay? So if that's the case, right, somebody's going to prison. I'm not doing this. I'm not playing these games. I'm not. So she said she would get me the information. My heart is like in my stomach. I don't even know what to call the feeling that I had, because if she was lying, this now means that she's very dangerous to even think of something like that. Right? Or she's up to something really bad. And if she's not, then this is going to be a big deal. So I went to Busch Gardens, walked around. I was quiet. I was talking to my daughter. Just, you know, get through the day, Tina. Get through the day. And she's flying out tomorrow morning and you'll never have to see her again. Just block her, you know, get rid of her. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not a ghoster. I'm not a blocker for most parts, but this was too much, right? I mean, how are you going to lie about something like that? Why? There were many things that man was. A pedophile is not one of them. And I would be the first person to tell you that. I have a zero tolerance, zero, for anything even remotely. You have no idea. So we get home, and on the way home, you know, we've been running around Busch Gardens. It's July. It's hot. It's in Florida. I'm like, hey, I'm just gonna jump in the shower real quick with Emmy. I was gonna wash her up, wash me up, and then we were just gonna go to bed. Again, I don't wanna deal with her. We get home and she's like, hey, I'm jumping in the shower real quick, cool? I'm like, and then she's like in the shower. I'm like, me and my kid are like covered in, you know, a layer this thick of sweat and everything else from the theme park. But okay, go ahead, you're a good girl. Yeah, my kid's good, don't worry about it. So she goes in the shower for an hour and my daughter fell asleep. And I was like, well, I'm not taking a shower tonight because I'm not leaving my daughter. Not till she's out of the house. So she comes and knocks on my door and, you know, I open it up. I'm like, hey, what's up? And I thought she was going to give me the John Honey information, right? She says, hey, you ever heard of the dark web? I mean, I'm a YouTuber. Yes, I've heard of the dark web. Of course, you know, everybody's heard of the dark web. Why? You want to see something? I was like, what? And she hands me her phone. And it's the website of a hitman. And you can have anything done. Anything. You know, they have prices. It's like, for $5,000, you know, we'll catch them in a compromising position, you know? And I asked her, what does that mean? And she said, well, they'll send like a bunch of models, you know, to the guy or girl, whoever, you know, they'll find out what the person, you know, what their weakness is and get them, you know, and get them on camera so that you can blackmail them, you know. For $15,000, a guaranteed affair. For $25,000, it said, use your imagination. And she said, you know, I looked at her and I was like, this is disgusting. Why are you looking at this? What are you doing? You know? And she was like, that's who I work for. I'm like, you work for a hitman? She's like, yeah. And when I impersonate her, guys, she's very dumb. She doesn't pick up on social cues at all. So when I'm talking to her, like I'm talking to you right now, she's like, yeah, man, I work for a hitman. Isn't that freaking cool? And I'm like, and this girl the whole time, along with the locks, had been trying to get me to go get a gun. Because she was like, you need a gun, girl. You need a gun. She was begging me to go to the gun store with her. She was like, she talked about that for so long. Can you imagine? So I'm like, all right. So at this point, you know, when you're in like a hostile situation, you have to make a decision. You know, what are you gonna do? You got a dangerous person in your house. Your child is there. You're unarmed. And she knows it. Was unarmed, by the way. In case anybody gets any bright fucking ideas. I was just like, well, you know, if you're doing good for people and you're helping people that really need help, like I do, good for you. I need to go to bed because I'm tired. So she went to bed. So I went to bed. She didn't go to bed. She was in my daughter's room next door on the phone, just, I don't even know what she was saying. It was just country babble. You know what I mean? It was just, I can't even tell you. I think I've even put my earphones in for my tablet. I watch my tablet every night. I catch up on my YouTubers. So the next morning, I take my daughter to school and I come back and she's still here and she's passed out in the bedroom, right? So I'm like, she's gonna get up and she's gonna leave as soon as she gets up. But we all know, you know, she was up all night talking to her people, planning her missions, like she calls them. I forgot something. She also said that my ex-boyfriend had hired her company, but that she knew that I was like a great person, so she was here to save me. You know, she couldn't do that to somebody like me. So she didn't get up. So at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I came downstairs. I was working, the whole team was here. I didn't tell them what happened. They knew that she needed to go. Does that make sense? So 1 o'clock, I run up there and she's like, hey, I'm gonna run on a mission real quick and then I'm gonna get something, I'm gonna come back here. I said, no, nope, nope, nope. First of all, you're not going on any missions, you know, and then coming back to my house where my kid lives when you're out here doing who the F knows what, right? And this is when I got mad, and this is stuff I actually said to her. Again, may or may not be completely verbatim, but I'm gonna give you the gist. She goes, you know, I'm gonna go run these missions. I'm gonna come back to your house. I said, no, you're not. You need to get your bags and go right now. She was like, what do you mean? I don't have a flight. I said, get your bags and leave my house right now. I was not playing anymore. I was like, get out. And again, I don't want to scream, my kid's upstairs. So she comes out of the bedroom and freaking punches my hallway wall, punches my wall. Okay, right by my head too. I was standing there and she was like, you know what I mean? Like to scare me. Okay, girl. Mama not scared, honey. Mama is not scared. Not of you. So she left. She took her shit and she left. And that's great. That's all that we needed. I took that box of shit. I took the shit that she bought at Home Depot, threw it in a box, put it in the garage. Bye-bye. Right? So you would think that that would be it. You'd think that that would be it, right? I blocked her on every avenue, and that was only the beginning. I know that this video is ridiculously long, guys. And again, there are reasons that I cannot give you every single bit of information at the moment. But trust me, the blanks will be filled in. So she starts, you know, she starts with the emails. And it starts off, you know, I don't even remember how it started, to be honest. If it was not hostile or hostile, it was not hostile because I responded. She emailed me and I emailed her back and I said, I literally said this. I'm like, I'm sorry. I think maybe I even texted her. This may have been before I blocked her, before I had a chance, you know, like she's already blowing me up. So, and plus you guys, I have to work, you know what I mean? Like I have a lot of work to do. Like it's like, you know, so I don't remember if I blocked her that second or if I'd planned to that evening. I think it was text. There were so many, and I'm talking hundreds, like emails, texts. All of it is obviously, you know, documented. It's electronic records, of course, and it's, yeah, it's fully chronologicized, you know. That's not a word, I know. But my brain's not, you know, not 100% telling the story. So the emails start, and it was that night. Was it that night? The night after. Again, we'd have to look at the papers. They go from, I'm sorry, you know, I'm sorry, I've just been through a lot, like da 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 da. I don't want to lose you as a friend. Can you please just keep me as a client, if nothing else, just a client. Like, I'll go back to just being a client, and I'm sorry, like da 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 da. I'm like, no. I said, I'm sorry, there are too many red flags here, is exactly how I responded. She went ballistic on my life. When I say ballistic, this girl went for every angle. Next thing you know, like, I'm sitting here working in this same chair. I hear a forceful knock at my door, and I'm like, and girl, I got cameras, you know, that is one thing. I have cameras all over. So I looked at the cameras, and it was the police. And I'm like, oh my God, what is going on? And not just the police, it was like, there was something going on. So I opened the door, and they're like ready to, you know what I mean? They're coming in. They're like, what's going on? Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, what? What do you mean? I'm like, what happened? You know? And they're like, we got a call that, you know, you're homicidal, suicide. I don't know what they said, but basically that I was a danger. I was a harm to myself or others. And I'm like, no, you know, no. I'm like, I'm not. I'm like, who called you? I'm like, what happened? You know? And I'm trying to tell them, and then they're walking into, imagine what they're walking into, guys. They're walking into the Lover's Conjure. I got candles burning everywhere, witchcraft stuff all over the place, you know? It looks like something's wrong with me, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what these cops think. Again, witchcraft is not everybody's cup of tea, and that is okay, and I respect everybody's spiritual preferences, but it is mine, and I love it, and I love being able to do this for my clients. So my whole home is, you know, again, it was the store. So they see all this stuff, right? They're looking around, and I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, was it her? And they're like, yes. I'm like, okay, let me tell you what happened. And they had zip ties. They had the paddy wagon outside. They were ready to take me, okay? I pulled up my laptop, and I'm like, no. She's been emailing me like these crazy psychotic emails, like you don't understand. And so I'm like pulling it up, and then they looked at my email, and they were like, oh my God. You know, like they realized like, okay, all right. You know, so they left, and thankfully that's all that was, right? But I got freaking swatted, you know? Swatted, like what the heck? So then I'm like, I'm like, this is unreal, right? So I'm thinking that's the worst thing, you know, that could possibly be. It happened again. It happened again. They did it twice. So like, and it was some time later, you know, and these cops are coming over here, and I'm begging them. I'm like, please, you know, I need like, you have to believe me. Like, this is what's going on. I'm not crazy. I'm not psychotic. I'm not a harm to anybody. You know what I mean? Except demons and pedophiles. That's pretty much it, you know, and not a physical harm at all. It's spiritual, you know? So like, I don't like, this is not, I don't have any sort of, you know, thankfully, you know, mental illnesses or anything that would, you know what I mean? But like the emails, she was like, I'm calling DCF. Child Services on you. She's like, it's time, Tina. You really need help, and I'm gonna get you all the help you need. Don't worry about it. Emmy's gonna be fine. She's gonna be fine. And the worst part about that is because she's a demon. She's a demon. So I told her that, you know, I was planning to open my store this year, and then I was going to buy a house. And then, because, you know, I couldn't do this while the store is in the house, right? But I had told her that I had been looking into adoption, you know? And not only that, that's not the worst part. The worst part is my poor little girl. You know what I mean? She didn't do anything. You want her to have to get drugged through all these interviews and questions about her mommy. What are you thinking? You know what I mean? Like, she is my life. I would die for her in a second. I would never let harm come to her. I'm so mad at myself for falling for this shit. I need a break. I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, guys. Listen, I have cried this out. You know what I mean? Like, I cannot cry anymore. I put this to bed, actually, a couple months ago, just because, again, I got stuff to do. You know what I mean? Like, I don't talk about this at all, ever. The only time I've told this story is to law enforcement. So, thankfully nothing happened with that, because she kept trying to get me committed, right? She called, and then she called and got a female officer who, you know, was able to see through it for me. And that really helped. And I'm very appreciative to her. And I thank her so much. I thank all of them. Thank you guys. If you ever see this, I just, you know, I'm like, what do I do? They're like, get a restraining order. Once you get a restraining order, any contact is automatic arrest. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay, great. Perfect. So I take a whole day that I don't have, you know, I work 7 days a week. I take a whole ass day. I print out all the emails, all the texts, everything, all the Etsy, all of it. Get it all beautifully put together. Again, guys, paralegal for 15 years. And not just like, you know, in a small law firm. I'm talking Fortune 500s, top global law firms in the world. You know what I mean? Global is the world, but you get what I'm saying? Like, I have a very good career. The federal government, I mean, the Department of Defense, you know, like, I'm a very, very, very credible witness. I have the only thing on my background ever is a red light ticket. I think I may have had like a parking ticket as well, now that I think that, but that's the only thing that I've ever had. Why? Because I'm a good person. I don't hurt people. I try to do the right thing always, always, you know? Then all this stuff has happened. So I get it all together for the judge, and I'm like, all right, you know, I know what to do. I wrote everything in, and again, I'm a little frantic. I'm not gonna, you know, not gonna lie. Maybe I probably came across as a little too desperate, but they took the packet back to the judge to see if I could get an emergency injunction just to stop the reign of terror that was coming down on me. And this is not all, my friends. There's so much more. The cops called my husband. She called my ex-husband, my daughter's father. The cops over there. She was stalking my friends and family members. Oh my God. And all because of me, all because of my stupidity. You know? How could I have been so dumb? So anyway, I don't know that the judge even looked at it. They just said, no, you'll have to set a hearing. And I'm like, okay. This demon lives in Tennessee. I'm in Florida. You know, I gotta find her. So I go home and I start looking for a private investigator, because everything that she has said up until this point had been a lie. So I had no reason to believe that the addresses that she had given me to ship her Etsy products to were real or accurate. I Googled them. She was not the owner of those properties. So, and she told me she owned a lot of property too. She sold so many lies. Like, there's nothing about this that's funny, but like, oh, Lord of mercy. This girl, ooh, she lies. Once we pulled the full battle, you guys are not, you're not going to believe this. You're not going to believe it. So this PI I call, Joel, you know, I give him the rundown, basics. I got a stalker. I'm on YouTube. The chick's a nut. She keeps sending the cops over here, and I don't want anything to do with her, but I need to get her served with a restraining order. Can you help me? He's like, yeah. So Joel, just to make sure, pulls my background, and he sees everything. He sees my career. He sees all of these great things that I've done, you know, not saying this in a narcissistic way. I'm not trying to float my own boat. Just to make sure I'm not BSing, right? And I don't lie. That's the thing. And that's the thing, you know? I don't lie. I don't lie. Like, I don't. I have no reason to, you know? But I had been not believed so many times at this point. The cops, the judge, you know, Joel was like, I was desperate. I'm like, please, somebody has to believe me. And he did. You know why? Because when he pulled her background check, come to find out, she had another name. And she also had 6 other restraining orders in all different states. And guess what else? An active stalking investigation in Ohio, where the couple that she originally came to me to have work done was. So he's flipping out. I love this guy. If you need a PI, please let me know. This guy's phenomenal. He had my back. He was the first and only person for a long time that had my back. He's digging everything up. Everything. He's finding it all. Okay? There's more. There's so much more. So much more. She was indicted for lying to the police. I mean, she had a freaking staged robbery, and somehow all of this stuff got wiped off her record. And I think there's one of 2 things, and here you go. You want to hear the legal? Here we go. There's a youthful offenders law. I don't know if it's a law. It's a, you know what? I don't even care about the legal stuff anymore, guys. I'm not even trying to sound smart. They have a youthful act, okay? Youthful Offenders Act. So in Alabama, apparently, if you make a mistake when you're a minor, you know, she wasn't a minor, she was like 19 or something, but, you know, under 21, I guess. You know, they'll give you one chance, you know, to not ever do that again. You know, and that's how she had gotten off on that. And that's why that didn't show up on her background check. But it was in the news. There was news articles. There is news articles. I can't wait till y'all see these things. I really can't. I can't share them right now, but I will. And there's a lot. Anyway. So yeah. So now we've got a serial stalker. How does this happen? I'll tell you how it happens. Number one, the people that she is picking as victims are mothers. Typically mothers that are either single mothers or somehow otherwise vulnerable, okay? And I think what has happened is that she has now, over the years, graduated, okay? She's gone from picking on people that have no money, no means to defend themselves, no, you know, maybe they've got a little bit of a criminal history or something, you know what I mean, that makes them afraid to come to the police, stuff like that, okay? So criminal charges there, even though those restraining orders written in them were the most horrific things. A minor, one was 17 when the demon was an adult, and she ran this girl off the road. She met her at Domino's Pizza and got obsessed with her and started stalking her and became her friend just like she did with me. But again, you got to think, guys, rural Alabama, guess what? These people don't have, you know, maybe the means to defend themselves. You get what I'm saying? Because I'm going to tell you what this has cost me here in a second. So there's that. There's her own mother for something so unbelievably gross and demented that I can't even believe it. I can't even think that this is even, I mean, I believe it. No, trust me. What I cannot believe is that this woman is walking around doing this to other people. She's free as a bird. Guaranteed she's on her next victim. So now we've got the 6 restraining orders. We've got all this other stuff, right? The PI, wonderful, right? Great. I can take this to the cops and they're gonna believe me. They're gonna send this to an investigator so that I can talk to a detective, you know, and really talk to somebody that's gonna help me, right? Because mind you, this still didn't stop at all. She's still going strong every day, multiple times a day. Texts, phone calls, emails. She makes a new Google Voice number every hour on the hour, it seems like. Or she just has 50 burner phones, you know, whatever the case may be. But she's over here blowing me up day in, day out. It's nonstop. And I'm talking threatening me, threatening to come here. She's like, hey, I'm in your neighborhood. I'm in your neighborhood. You know what I mean? I'm hanging out with your neighbor. Don't get mad. Just live and let live, Tina. You know? You need to chill out. You can't be jealous that I'm moving on. And I'm like, one of the victims is deceased. She was driving with the demon and they got in a horrible accident. And nobody has ever looked into that. Well, that's changing because I'm here now. It took me hiring a high-powered lawyer, $16,000 in legal fees to get a restraining order. $16,000. And that girl came there so just defiant. She's like, come at me. Do you know what this demon had the gall to say when we filed for the restraining order? Because she could have agreed. She could have stipulated. She could have just said, that's fine. She's in Tennessee. I'm here. No problem. There's no reason for you to be within 500 feet of me. But she says, I want to protect my Second Amendment rights. That's what she told the judge. 6 restraining orders. You're not supposed to have Second Amendment rights anymore. And an active stalking investigation. So I had to sit through that. 2 5-minute hearings. I got the restraining order. And then the bank fraud started. Apparently, she robbed me while I was drugged. That's why she drugged me. She took all of my accounts, everything, the business accounts, my personal accounts, my everything, guys, everything. She stole my vaccine card, but she didn't take the cards so that I would see it. She just got the numbers. So next thing you know, I'm looking, I don't even remember if it was a call or if I just happened to see it in the operating account for the business. There's this weird vendor. And I'm like, that's a lot of money. What is that? And imagine, like, we're building out the store, guys. We're building out the store. So I'm paying, you know, thousands of dollars for contractors, materials, flooring, inventory, website. I mean, you name it. We've got big, you know, it wasn't like that rare to have a big charge like that, but I didn't recognize the vendor. And we've ordered, I mean, we ordered stuff from all over the world for this store, you know, like, so I'm looking at it, and again, I don't recall if Navy, if they called me or if I called them, but they're like, yeah, this is a jewelry store in like Eastern Europe. And I'm like, oh my God. Remember the first girl that she came to me about? Remember the immigrant? She was from Eastern Europe. And she told me that she was gonna buy her some jewelry from her hometown as a special gift and have it sent to her. Yeah. So, thankfully, I have a very good rapport with all of my financial institutions, and I was able to receive all of that money back. But the credit card fraud alone amounted up to over $15,000. Okay. So again, I get the restraining order. She doesn't actually stop. She's not stopping. She can't. Because she's sick and she needs to go to the hospital and tell them that so that they can help her. But she won't do that, you know? Anyway, you know, she calls from her little burner numbers or whatever. I know it's her. It's so stupid at this point. Like, it doesn't even make sense. All it's doing is just, but, you know, I'm a really strong girl. I'm real strong, guys. Hephzibah, Georgia. Like I said. But, and no, I don't have any more family in Hephzibah, which is why I say that. The only reason. But, you know, I've been to war. I volunteered. I was a civilian. I wanted to go to Afghanistan. I wanted to be there. You know, I wanted to help. Oh, yeah, what you see on the news in real life is a lot different. Talk to somebody that's been there if you know them. It's a lot, you know. I'm not scared. I'm not scared. I've been on the other side for a few minutes, but I got to go visit. I'm telling you right now, the only thing that scares me is not being here to protect her. My spirit guides obviously have got it on lock because I'm sitting here. But, and she's unscathed, but at the same time, y'all wanna know why I hex people? That's why. Those are the kind. That's it. You know? So, because of all of this, my friends, my life was obviously turned upside down. I tried to just keep my head down and work, but please understand, I was working to keep up with demand. I was working 8 to 12 hours a day given, all right? So I started to have panic attacks. Every time I had to think about leaving the house for any reason, I'd start to shake, and I had to work through it because guess what? My kids got to go to school. I got to do stuff. You know what I mean? I can't be like this, right? So I just push it down. But the more I did that, obviously that doesn't help, right? It's just putting a Band-Aid on it. I'm in therapy, so that's helping, of course. I'm under medical care, but my health took the worst turn, guys. I was not diagnosed with this, but I swear to you, I probably had broken heart syndrome. I'm not kidding, and that's dangerous. You know, it was so devastating just to think, like, and I helped this girl, guys. Like, I tried so hard to help her, to be there for her. Even when all the crazy stuff happened, I didn't call the police because I thought, you know what, she's obviously got some stuff going on. I hope she works it out. I don't want to get her in trouble and ruin her life, make her lose her job. And look what she did to me. So, yeah. Well, the store has to open. So, I have taken my power back, my friends. It's opening. We're set for the 22nd of February. And I cannot wait to see everybody. I cannot wait to meet the ones that have been with me for so long, you know. And I need to extend a very heartfelt apology to all of my clients, especially the older ones. Because I was so, like, out of pocket, you know, and they count on me to be there for them when they're going through, like, the for stuff or whatever they need, and I couldn't be there for them. I couldn't even check my email. I couldn't even look in the inbox because it was like, I'm gonna be there, you know? I had to like isolate completely, you know, and just pull away. And those of you that I've been talking to this whole time on videos, I'm sure you probably don't. I mean, some of you guys, you know who you are and everything. I'm not even gonna go into it, but it's just, I'm sure this was gonna come as a pretty big shock to all of you that kind of like this was going on, you know, through everything. But, you know, I'm okay. I want you guys to know I'm not just okay. I'm effing thriving, seriously. You know, like I'm not even just saying that to be like, no, really, you know? It's just, I have probably lost some pretty good clients because of my inability to respond efficiently. And I'm so sorry. I did not mean to do that, guys. I literally could not. I just couldn't deal with anything or anybody, you know? I've been hiding out. Not just here either. But I'm ready, guys. I'm over it. I'm ready. We're moving forward. And you know, I hope that you guys will stay here, and I know that I changed the name of the channel to match the business. I will still do my tarot readings, guys. I will. It's just that you have to understand, posting a public video, it was like I knew she was watching everything I did, at least with the prosperity service, and she still does. I know she's gonna see this, and I don't care. I don't care. We're taking it all the way in because I've had it. You know, this is it. You don't do this to people, and I promise you that when I get settled, my next big thing, my next big campaign is that we need a stalker database. When somebody has more than one injunction, that should automatically be a red flag, right? I'm just saying, because they were interstate. And also, guys, injunctions are hidden typically under the veil of family law or family court, you know? Family court, yeah, I mean, it's public record, but it's also not. You know, some states do things differently. Some states you can't even see the docket, which is like, you know, when you go to your local clerk or court's records, you can look up, you know, somebody's name and pull up any court records affiliated with them from different divisions. There's criminal, civil, there's like real estate, you know, there's all kinds of stuff with the county clerk, but you get what I'm saying for legal matters. Usually injunctions are hidden behind a wall, and I can't, there's gotta be something. This has to change, you know? Like I'm gonna do something. My best friend's sister's a congresswoman and she loves me. And this is what it took, guys, you know? I didn't want to tell my story. I didn't want to tell my friends. I didn't want to tell anybody. I just wanted to like move on with life and just forget about it, you know, but I can't because it was changing me, right? It was making me not me. And so this is what I just wanted to let you guys know. That's what's going on. But listen to me. Listen to me. In the past week, it's been about 10 days. I know that like there's the North and South Node thing and all these crazy things going on right now. My whole world has changed, like in such a good way. And I don't want to say anything just yet for obvious reasons, right? But when I share that with you guys, you'll get it. I'm telling you guys, if you're having this string of horrific luck, because again, I even feel bad telling people this because it's like, I know everybody has been through hell. The last 2 years have just been hell. You know, I don't know what else to say. I mean, there were obviously good things, you know, but so many people have just gone through loss after just everything. But, you know, we have to dawn the new era, guys. You know, if you're not into astrology, it does give you a lot of answers, okay? I love it. I'm going to start studying it so much. Astrology with Heather, oh, I want to have her on my channel, which is the next thing I was going to say. So not only are the tarot readings coming back, I'm going to be here. I'm going to be doing, not here, but in my studio, which is built in my store. you know, doing face-to-face readings with you guys, and not just face-to-face readings. We're going to do a podcast. So, like a podcast style thing. And I'm not really good with technology, but I've got two 21-year-olds working for me. So, so they're going to help me with that. And they're not here right now. I'm just saying they know how to do that stuff. So you're going to see so much more of me. I'm sorry that this is delayed. I was just going to launch it with the start of the new year and, you know, have it all like, woo, like change everything and, you know, come out as this new emerged person. But, you know, it's not how the cookies crumbled, and that's okay. I think that it's more important for me to, you know, to share this stuff with you guys, at least this. I just, you know, again, I'm so sorry for the people that, you know, have been trying to get a hold of me. My assistant, you know, he'll tell me, so-and-so said so-and-so, because he knows my people. He knows, like, the people that I talk to frequently. He has a list of people, you know, and, you know, I'll just tell him what to say back. You know, I know that I still talk to you guys. Like, that's, nothing is hidden, okay? He's here to help with scheduling and questions and stuff like that. But, you know, when you need me for an appointment, I'm here. You know what I mean? He's doing the administrative stuff so that I can help more people. And that's the whole point, you know? More people need help. And then I'm going to be giving back so much to you guys and to just everybody, the whole world. I promise you that. Like, I have so many good plans in place and good things that are happening. So hang tight, all right? Bear with me. Just let me get this store open, guys. Please, please, I've got to do that, all right? And that's it. However, if you have an appointment scheduled with me, do not worry, okay? Those of you that I am behind on, I am several days behind. I'm so sorry. This is not how I want to run my business. I don't want to be like this. I don't want to be like, oh my gosh, I have 50 appointments. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to do this, but it's the way things have all unfolded, and they had to unfold this way. And again, I know that doesn't make sense to you now, but like, guys, I am like back. Like, magic works, by the way. All right, guys. Well, thanks for hearing me out. For those of you that made it this far in the video, you know, thank you. And I'm sorry if anybody's dealt with anything like this. And what I would like to also say, if there are any victims out there that may think that this is the person, email, reach out. My assistant's gonna look, okay? If you think that this is a person that may have done something like this to you, let me know if you think that that's the same person, because the more we have, the harder they fall. Okay? I love you guys. Please be well, be safe, okay? Stay healthy. I'm sending you guys so much love and many blessings, as always, from the bottom of my heart.